Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Outdoors Live. How is everybody doing? You don't even understand how super excited I am about this. This is my very first panel live stream ever. I'm super stoked about this. And as is typically the case on this channel, the very first person I get to do this with, just like our very first collaboration and everything else, John from A&J Outdoors, one of my all-time favorite outdoors fishing YouTube channels. John, how are you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, man. It's Monday, but now it's a good day.
Right? I'm feeling it. Hey, how about that weather? You got to ask that right out the gate.
It's rainy up here and been overcast all day, but the nice thing is it's like only 70 degrees out. We need the rain, so I'm not complaining. I know down there at the coast it might be a little bit different issue. Good thing is that storm that was rolling in was a hurricane when I read about it yesterday, and this morning I get up and it actually dropped down to a tropical depression or a tropical storm. So they're still going to get a bunch of water. There's going to be coastal flooding, but I think the coast is kind of dodging a bullet a little bit down here in Texas.
Yeah, man, I tell you what, it's a really strange year with the weather down here. I assume everybody else is facing the same thing because, you know, they got fires in California, and there's these storms hitting the East Coast and Florida, and the Gulf Coast is all across the board. Everybody's getting something. We haven't seen a Hurricane Andrew or a Katrina. We haven't seen, you know, the really serious fires that have this, not saying it's not been a bad one, right, but there's just so much of it. You know, was it last year? Did we have that really super winter storm? Was that last year or the year before? I forget. Wasn't it like a named storm?
I think it was year before.
The weird year for weather. And I like super knock on wood with that because, you know, who knows what the rest of the year has in store for us. But man, I don't even know what to say about it. It's been, I mean, obviously more storms than I've ever seen in my lifetime.
Yeah, it's
they ran out of names for them.
Yeah, let's start reusing names. That's bad.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to comment to folks while you're talking.
Yeah. I need to do that myself here. I need to get in the habit of being able to do this. Like I said, my first time doing a panel. So you guys feel free. If there are any issues, anything that I need to address doing a panel on a live stream like this, leave a thumbs up letting me know, hey, you need to fix this, and I'll get right to it.
There you go.
But hey, we got a ton of people in here already. So let's get to some names here. Obviously, our boy Grant McIntosh, super stoked. Grant is a part of our whole group of people here with the live streams and stuff like that. He's one of the very first people that I was, you know, had the pleasure of seeing a live stream with. Thank you very much for joining us, man. I look forward to seeing you back on camera. We got Steve from Haulin Ash Outdoors, also a part of our little group here. I'm waiting to see if he's going to join us backstage. I'm keeping an eye on that. If you do, I'm ready for you. Hooked Up and Backlash, how are you, sir? You, Can Vandal, gentlemen, I really appreciate you coming and joining us tonight for this. SPRO Team Bass, lo siento, pero mi español, yo soy oxidado, necesito más escuela, pero bienvenidos, something like that. I'm trying, guys. I'm really trying.
You're doing better than me. I'd be like, no habla español.
I practiced it, man. I practiced it, but then as soon as the camera goes on, I go totally blank. I keep meaning to have it written down, and I always forget to do it.
Don't look. I'm not drinking water.
Right. All right. Hey, for once, I'm the one with the whiskey tonight. Cheers, Jim. There it is. I was waiting for it. Oh, I didn't do my A&J glass. I should have. I'm sorry.
Oh.
It's sitting right there next to my Spanish translations.
So yeah, for those of you guys that don't know, didn't see my last video, and not all of you even know who I am probably, but so I've been doing Monday live streams, but it's been one of those things where I want to involve more people, and so we talked Stanley, Grant McIntosh, Haulin Ash Outdoors, Steve, and it was like, hey, let's come together as 4 outdoor channels and start rotating these live streams each week so we can get more variety in the live stream. You know, when it was me by myself, I'm sitting here racking my brain each Monday. What are we going to talk about today? And sometimes it's just hard to come up with stuff, and then you got to rely on the folks that come into the stream to bring up something. Hey, A&J Outdoors, good to see you. So this is the way it's going to be. Last week I did that one. This week, Mr. Stanley Orchard taking on. Next week, someone else is going to do the live stream. So it's going to be this group of people, and hopefully bring in more folks and make it more entertaining for you. You're going to come in one Monday like now and see 2 people up here. You might come in another Monday and see 4 people up here. You know, so you just never know. But that's the whole thing behind this. That's what we're trying to do.
And this is I can't tell you how excited we've been discussing this for a while now. This is such a cool deal, in my opinion. I love everybody that we're working with. Everybody are all people that I was a fan of before I was friends with everybody. Now I'm honored to say that I'm friends with everybody. And if you're interested in checking everybody out, you want to be a part of this. Like John was saying, everybody's going to be doing a live stream on a different Monday. We're all going to be in conjunction with each other. Those channels, I have a link to them in the description down below to our first group of channels here that are all working together. And we're going to be pulling on guests and working with some other channels and stuff like that. I'm actually going to start reaching out to now that we can do a panel, I'm going to start reaching out to people and having guests on the stream. I'm like really excited about this. But let us know how you feel. Let us know. Do you like the group thing? Did you prefer the one-on-one? You like chewing me out in person? Or do you like being able to, you know, kind of get in and talk with some of these other guys? And what do you want to talk about? You want to talk about the weather? Are we talking about our weekend? Are we griping about the week ahead? Are we going to be complaining about COVID in 2020? Or would you like to have a little bit of a, you know, touch on some YouTube topics? Let me know.
Yeah, that's what I like about this is you bring together a bunch of people, not just the 4 hosts that we have currently, but people that are regulars in our YouTube live streams. You bring together a lot of different folks with different expertise. So we can talk about COVID. We can talk about camera gear. And hopefully we talk a little bit about that tonight. I got some questions. And hey, we can talk about building an outdoor channel. So it's nice. I like that. That's what I enjoy best about these live streams. This is not a come in here and meet everybody and build your subscriber list, right? This is a come in and let's talk about things that are important to us to help us grow type thing.
Yep. We're all in this together, first and foremost. Like we are a community. We're all, you know, with each other. This isn't, you know, what everybody wants is you to have an audience of people who like just loving you, just watching you. They just want to see what you do. And that's just not the case with this. And I'm actually really, I'm totally cool with that. This is a group of people who like to go outdoors. They enjoy what they're doing, whether it be hunting or fishing or shed hunting, things like that. We all have these really cool things that we do. We all have different perspectives from different geographies and locales and different backgrounds where we do all of these different things. And now, whereas, you know, I initially got into this thinking, hey, I'm going to build an audience of people who enjoy just watching me fish. No, now it's a community of people who enjoy doing these things, and I get to be a part of them doing it. And I just think that's the coolest thing in the world. You know what I mean? Like I get to be a part of something. I'm loving it.
I agree 100%. Well, you're reading it. This is exciting, Cam Vandal. I'm as excited as a midget on a pair of stilts.
That dude's good. Can Vandal has one of the best Instagram accounts I've ever come across. You need to check that boy out on Instagram. He's got good stuff.
Yeah.
And it's just one-liners like this left and right. Appreciate you, sir.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, first topic conversation for tonight. First thing we need to discuss. It is Monday afternoon. How was your weekend? What awesome things happened? What do we have to look forward to seeing on your channel in the future? Or were you taking a break and we're just relaxing and enjoying the weather, the cool weather? Hey, Brandon, good to see you, man.
This weekend for me was one of those honeydews, get some things done around the house, take care of some business. Did not get out and do any filming. You probably won't see a video from me this week unless it's late in the week. I do got a review I want to do on a certain piece of equipment for filming, and I'm getting in a new camera this week.
Wait, did I hear that correct?
Yeah, a new camera. It's coming in tomorrow, as a matter of fact. So I'm going to do an unboxing, and it's not, so up until now, my action cameras, I have relied on a GoPro 3 Plus, a GoPro 4, and a GoPro 5. Everybody knows they're up 6, 7, 8, and now the 9. Well, I was sitting here on the computer trying to see if I could find an update on GoPro's website for my 3 Plus, my oldest one, which has some issues. And on the screen is the new GoPro 9 with a front-facing video. And I was like, that's pretty cool. Wife walks in, looks at it. She says, what's that? I explain it to her. She says, well, buy it. So we bought it. So it's coming in tomorrow. I'm finding that there's a lot of things, accessories that are hard to get right now because it's brand new. But I'm going to go ahead and for y'all do an unboxing of it, show you what it is, compare it to some of the older GoPros, and let you guys decide on your own how badass it is or not. So that's one of the videos I'm going to do.
Can I make a request on that?
You can, sir.
Two things that I always want to see, and I'm super excited about this. As you guys may or may not know, everything that I do on my phone.
Yes.
That is not going to be like that forever. Well, I'm not going to be doing that. I hope. If 10 years from now I'm still making videos on my phone, it's because I'm being paid to do it, or they came out with some super improvements on phones, because I have tapped the limits of what I can do with a phone. So I'm going to be upgrading to cameras, and so when that happens, I'm going to be in the market, obviously, for GoPros. I'm loving the 360 camera. But I'm going to need to upgrade on that too, because I've got the most low-end 360 out there, and I think it's starting to become evident in some of our videos. But things that I want to see on cameras for like unboxings and how they do, I'm curious. I would like to see footage from that camera, and I would like to see like outdoors footage, maybe shaky cam. I want to see how well the stabilization is. I'm also curious about how it handles low light situations. If that's possible, I would be curious about seeing that.
We will make it possible. That's first person to tell what they'd like to see from a review. This camera has some really crazy features. One of them is horizon lock. So I put the camera on and I do this horizon lock, and we'll talk when I do the review. I'll explain how to do it. I can take that camera and turn it 360 this way or 180, right? 360 all the way around. The view never changes. It locked the horizon. It holds, yeah. Down is down. What's up is up. Yeah. And it's supposed to have a super stabilization, better than the 8, which a lot of people love. For me, I'm jumping from my best GoPro right now is a 5, so it's a no-brainer. The 9 is going to be a lot better. So, but yeah, I'm excited to do that, and then I'm excited to get some of these additional features that's available for it that aren't out yet. I'm waiting. The only thing I got was the camera, so we'll see what that looks like. And I was able to get a charger and a backup battery. So I got a charger that'll charge 2 batteries. You always need a backup battery on a GoPro. Even though this says it has 30% more battery life. It's going to need it because you got a screen on the back, and now you got a screen on the front, which is nice. Because why am I doing? I'm doing the review now. I should stop. But that's just when they talk about the Osmos, the DJI camera, and that's one of the things they like, having a little screen on the front so you can actually see what's aiming at without looking at the back of it. The new GoPro 9 has that, so that's nice. I'm gonna have to look into that because especially with sunlight, doing it with the phone. When I'm outside, I'm filming, I can't see the screen. The sun's shining on it. I can't see what's going on, and I can't put the brightness all the way up because it kills the battery. So I put the brightness all the way down. I'm resolved to not seeing the screen, and I film blind. Now that works okay for me. Everything I film, I do with the wide angle lens on the phone. Since we have multiple lenses on the phones now, I go wide angle and I just cross my fingers and I hope and I pray. Now
you will see in some of my videos, I get some weird shots like that sometimes where I cut off the top of my head or I'm holding up a fish for the camera and it's like, I'm holding it like this on the screen. I get that shot every now and then. So, with those screens, I'm not a fan of how they drain the battery. I have trained myself to not use them. It would be super valuable if Rachel had access to that, if she could see, because she needs to be able to see it better than I got better eyes than she does. She needs a screen to be able to see. And so I am kind of curious also how the screen on that new GoPro works in the sunlight. How visible is it?
Yeah, that's a good point. Hey, is Steve backstage waiting for you to?
Oh, yes. Yeah, he is. And I'm sorry, Steve. I'm getting him on now.
That's all right. So I'll tell you, this thing's got some pretty awesome.
There he is.
There he is.
Like the redheaded stepchild nobody wants sitting back here waiting for you guys.
I'm so sorry. We started talking cameras and I haven't talked to the chat. I haven't addressed anything. I completely lost track of the guest backstage. I'm sorry.
That's okay.
But cheers and welcome to my very first panel, Steve from Haulin Ash Outdoors. It is a pleasure to have you on, sir.
Good to see you, Steve. So Danny's saying 7 black for everything here. Almost never use my drone. Now, unless you're 7 black and fly, I'm still using my drone. But I'll say this. So I had 3+ and 4. I had 2 4s. A 4 died. I ended up replacing that with a 5. The 5, for me, has been the most disappointing GoPro I've owned. Now, a lot of people, hey, it's got better video capability. It's got better sound. But for me, because of the microphone, external microphone issues you have with that GoPro, I'll use it. And 9 times out of 10, I'll be showing video on it, but I'll be pulling audio from one of the other ones.
Yeah.
Audio's better. So that's been very disappointing. But, it is what it is. So tomorrow we get it. We'll see.
I'm looking forward to that.
And we'll check it out. Cam Van,
and that's
a real fisherman on the panel. Oh man! Look, his head's already.
Yep.
Thanks, Cam.
So, what about you, Steve? How was your weekend? What have you got for us? Did you manage to get out and do any fishing? You're not suffering from the same weather issues that we have been down here. How was your weekend?
My granddaughter and I was going to go fishing on Saturday. It was cold here, so I decided not to. Instead, we went over to my cousin's pond and thought maybe we could get some geese, and that didn't work out. However, last night, my son Chris and I went over to that same pond, and he got his very first banded goose. So that
nice.
Worked out well.
Yes, I saw that.
That's
no
awesome.
video, but I was proud of him.
That is awesome.
You'd have laughed your butts off. My cousin had this little paddle boat, and it's a 2-person paddle boat. And Chris and I are not small people, okay? And we didn't know that my cousin's paddle boat, he drilled some holes in it because it had a bunch of water in it. It was a junk paddle boat. He didn't tell us that. So he drilled a bunch of holes in it to get the water out so he could lift it and haul it away. We didn't know. So here's Chris. He's out there paddling, and I'm on shore, and I'm kind of doing a little video, and I'm thinking, God, he's got about 2 inches of water line. He better not lean any harder to his left, or that boat's going to take on water. Of course, I didn't know either that the thing had holes in it. So he paddles all the way out, gets the goose, comes back, and that's when my cousin come down to where we were at, and he says, that boat's got a whole bunch of holes in it. I said, I have no idea. We just seen it was there. We grabbed it. So sure enough, we get Chris on shore, pull the little paddle boat up, and yep, it's got holes everywhere. He's in about this much water, but he got his banded goose and he got back with it. That would have been funny to have had on video. But
awesome.
I'm having mental images. You know how like when it rains a lot and the sewers flood and you get those little geysers of air and water coming up out of the manhole covers? I have mental images of that little paddle boat with them little like sprays of water and air coming up out of it.
You got to wonder, like, how long were you out there before you realized, you know what? There's a lot of damn water coming in this little.
Chris is in the next room, and I said, "Did it do that?" And he just shook his head. Yep. So cameras, you guys were talking about cameras, and I knew you were going to talk about this, so I brought my camera case down. Nanook, made by Plasticase, and it's lockable, sealable. I don't know how much you can see, but I keep my camera in it. It's foam. You can't sink it. You could literally throw this overboard while it's sealed. It won't sink.
That's nice.
Throw it around in the boat. Nothing breaks. So something to look into. I don't remember how much I paid for it, but well, here we go. But it's a good thing to have for your investment to keep it protected.
Yeah. I tell you what, one thing that, speaking of cases and stuff, one thing that I find just utterly invaluable, and Danny Baker made mention of this. He says he dives 30 feet with a 7 Black, no case. I think that's really cool. I think it's really cool that the GoPros are now getting to the point where they're not doing the cases on them. They're actually waterproofing it of themselves. Now, I am a triple redundancy kind of guy. I record with my phones in the water, and I put them in 2 waterproof cases when I do that. And I'm sick of it. I am sick and tired of the nonsense I have to go through to put my camera in the water. It is 2020. I am ready for a waterproof case that you can put any phone in without it affecting the screen, and I want that thing to see 100 feet of water. You know what I mean? You can make these things, and they don't need to be $5,000. I'm hot about this issue. Talking waterproof cases, I get really animated on that because it is ridiculous, the supply that is available out there versus the price tag they put on these things.
Stanley, do you remember the AquaView cameras?
Are those ones you'd get in the gas station that you could you'd get them and you could take pictures and then take them to the store and have them developed?
Yeah, you stuck your little disposable camera inside of it.
Yep. I have one of those.
There's one kicking around here somewhere I used years ago when I was scuba diving. And then we went to something else. I don't remember. I went to a Nikon, and that I eventually gave away because I don't scuba dive anymore. I should, but I don't. But the AquaView was the first camera that I had for underwater pictures.
Mm-hmm.
Man, my first underwater camera, I was in the Army still. I was stationed in Sinai Peninsula, Egypt, deployed there. And so the Red Sea was there, which is one of the best dive places in the world. And we were fortunate enough to be able to get scuba qualified while we were there. And I don't know what it was, but you guys remember film, right? This is a 110 camera. So it had the little roller film, right? And it was yellow, and it was a hard case, and it was waterproof. So I could take it when we would dive or snorkel and take pictures of fish and stuff. And eventually, I don't remember what depth it was good for. I eventually drowned it, ruined it. But that thing was pretty dang cool back in the day because you had that, you had the 35 millimeter cameras, and you had Polaroids. We didn't have cell phones, and I'm talking back in the early mid-'80s. So that was pretty cool back in the day.
It was early 90s when I started getting into this. In the early 90s, I saw Endless Summer 2. It was a surf movie. I was big into surfing. I saw that movie, and I wanted to make surf films. And I wanted to make surf films for about 15 years. I went through several different variations of waterproof camera to try to make that happen. In fact, I've got hidden on YouTube. I actually have premieres for videos that never got made, movies that I wanted to do that I throw on Patreon and stuff like that every now and then. But man, it was so hard back then. I've destroyed so many waterproof cameras, and I destroyed them in 5-8 feet of water. I like where things have come now. I like that we can actually do the things that we do. I can use my phone. My phone is waterproof. I've got it in a waterproof case, and then I put that in a waterproof case. So I'm going to be fine now. And I like that we can do these things. But, man, it needs to be better. It needs to be more accessible. As much as that promotes competition that I do not want, it does need to be more commercially or more approach. What is that term? It needs to be more. Yeah. You need to be able to get your hands on that.
So this GoPro 9, as it is, they say is good to 33 foot. And then, of course, they make a waterproof case for it so that you can take it beyond, that depth.
Oh, Cam, I dropped my phone in the toilet once. Awesome underwater footage.
I was gonna say, I think that's the phone I would. I lost my phone. I don't know where it is. I need a new phone.
If I was your wife, I would be calling you every 30 minutes for the rest of your life while you own that phone. This is a reminder. That's what you get. Dude, A&J, is that you dropping 5 bombs on this? You dropping super chats?
Oh, yeah. Oops.
Hey, I appreciate that, man. Thank you very much.
No First problem. Camera I ever had, Pentax K1000.
The first one I ever used was like that.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was that one. I was too young to know, but I remember using one. Manual focus. Even to this day, manual focus, where it's at.
Oh, Weekend Warrior's got to pop off and eat some dinner with the family. Thank you for stopping in, brother. We appreciate it.
Man, it's been a pleasure. Thank you for joining us.
All right.
You know, I'm curious on cameras with these GoPros. Now, okay, talking to a guy who uses his phone. I don't own a GoPro. I don't know anything about these guys. I know that mine is new. That's about the extent of my knowledge. I keep hearing GoPro 7 silver, GoPro 9 black, all of that. What is the color designation? What does that mean?
You know what? All I know is when you have a model, the 8, the 9, or whatever, the black is the top end. It usually has some more capabilities than the other ones. All I've bought has been black. So I don't know. I guess if you research it, you could figure out what the differences are. But it's the difference that I know is it's a capability thing.
And how is your audio with those? You were talking about using the audio from one versus another. Anything specific like you have, because obviously audio is a big thing that nobody ever thinks about until they start making videos. Then all of a sudden it's the big thing holding your channel back.
Especially outdoors audio. So yes. GoPros are notoriously bad audio from internal mic. Now, my understanding the 8s and this 9 have gotten better, but still wind noise and all that is an issue. So you move to external mics like you do on most video cameras. When you're out there, you want something with a windsock and all that. So my problem, like my GoPro 4, I don't have none of that out here, but the 4 or 3 Plus, I could just plug in the external microphone and I'm good to go. The GoPro 5, you had to have this special adapter to plug the microphone into that, and that adapter caused issues where certain situation your microphone would not work at all. So you're out there, hey, I'm recording a great video, and all of a sudden you got a bunch of silence. And fortunately for me, I use more than one camera. So when that first time that happened, I realized, okay, I'll use the audio from this camera and the video from the 5. So that's why the 5's been a disappointment for me. Can't talk to the 6, 7, or 8. They say this 9's better. It also has a, what do they call it? I think I wrote it down somewhere. Yeah. A media mod. Okay, so the media mod they also had for the 8, which is a case that when you put it in that case, it has its own external mic. It's got cold shoes on it, so you can put lights or another mic on it or whatever you want. And that was supposed to be kind of the, hey, let's get GoPro into the vlogger world where they can vlog with it and do everything. And pretty good. Well, the 9 is a different size, so this is going to make some people who own the 8 mad. You can't use the same media mod, and it's not available right now. I tried to get it.
Yeah.
But when you get it, it even comes with a windsock or it's kind of like foam, actually, a cover so that you get better audio out of it. How good it is, I don't know. I'll probably stick to external audio just like I do for any other camera. So yeah, bottom line is GoPro's internal audio still isn't awesome.
Yeah, and that's the case with all of those. You know, in order to make them the prices that they are, they have to sacrifice something, and they're sacrificing audio because they're trying to give you good video. They record video, they're for video. That's what they're there for. Audio, because nobody thinks about it. You never think audio until you're about 25 videos deep and you start to hear wind noise. That is the first thing that you hear. And you go through 7 or 8 different ways of trying to eliminate wind noise, realize that it can't be done. And then you start to hear, as you get away from the wind noise here or there, whatever you're doing, you end up getting a sock on it or something. And that's when it's like, oh, man, actually now I can hear that my voice is not that good, or that motor noise is just destroying everything. You don't ever think about audio until it's an issue.
Yeah.
Dude, Paul Peck, Drywall Tube, and D90 Bell, gentlemen, thank you very much for joining me. Paul Peck, man, I am loving what you're doing, sir. It's an honor and a privilege to have you in here with us, my friend. How are you doing? And we got Sea Pro Fishing with Wayne.
And all these handsome guys.
Right? I love it.
I don't know what screen he's looking at.
I don't know what to say about it. Yeah, I'm just going to leave it at handsome guys, John.
Yeah. Danny said, I think the GoPro audio is horrible because of the case. Once you don't need a case, it improves. So again, yeah. If you're talking about the waterproof case, yes. You throw the old GoPros like my 3 Plus or the 4 in one of the waterproof cases, you've lost audio. It's horrible. But even without a case, if you're out running across the water, you have some wind blowing, that really crushes your audio. And I'll be honest, like Stanley was saying earlier, I didn't realize how much audio plays a role in an audience watching a video. But take one video with horrible audio and a second video with basically the same video, right? Same stuff, but improve the audio through external mics or whatnot. And all of a sudden, that video just seems to do better. And I know because I'm a YouTuber video watcher. I watch all these folks. There's some big YouTubers that I complain about regularly when I was doing the Monday Lives, because they haven't upgraded their video, even though they're big, or their audio, even though they're a big channel. So yeah, if I'm watching a video and it's all and I can't hear them talking, that's a turnoff. If there's somebody I really like, I'll suffer through it. If I'm new to their channel and that's what I see, I'm like, wow, click next video, please. So
another point on that too is Danny Baker, you make a good point. You take it out of that waterproof case and you're going to get better audio night and day difference. However, you really want to know the difference in audio. You take that GoPro and take out what are those things called? Those little side recorders, the audio ones, the good ones, like a Tascam. Mm-hmm. Take a Tascam out with you and compare the audio in your regular GoPro. Compare that, and I think John's going to get his now to show it because I think he's got one. To compare that to edited, sound engineered audio from a Tascam, and that feeling that you get with a GoPro when you switch it from being in a case to not in a case, that is the feeling you get when you go from having a GoPro audio of any kind into like engineered Tascam audio. That's the feeling you're going to get. It's just night and day difference. It's cinematic. That exactly one of those guys.
All right. This is an audio recorder. There's a plug-in, so you plug in your microphone, which I'm using right now. I probably just made a lot of noise. In this,
and Steve, didn't you recently have some audio issues that you were dealing with too? Did you ever get that?
Yeah.
I remember you had latency issues.
Yeah, that was one thing, which I figured out was the editing software that I was using. So I'm using Adobe Premiere, and now I'm able to, because the words would come out and my mouth would either not be talking or it'd be way behind. So we got that taken care of. But the thing, there was one of the people that watch my channel said, I like your videos, but I can't hear half the time when you're out on the lake what you're trying to say. And it's right, because we fish out on Lake Erie or Saginaw Bay, and it's windy. And without good audio, you're trying to talk, but they may not understand what you're trying to say. So that's where I went with the Canon, with the dead cat and that whole 9 yards. It makes it better for sure. But yeah, my sync was way off, and that was just because of my software programming.
I was wondering about that. You can have those audio latency issues with the camera themselves. I've actually had some issues with the audio like that on some of the stuff that I recorded with the phone, and that scares me because that phone the phone camera stuff is kind of generic. When they have issues like that, it's like, man, that's not something I can fix in editing software, you know. So hearing that hearing that it's a software issue for you, that's kind of like my personal thought on that is like, man, thank God. Thank God that's the issue. And for two, Adobe Premiere, personally, I love that direction. There's a couple of different directions you could have gone. Adobe Premiere, in my opinion, is one of the best options out there. That's the way that I would go. I would go if and when or when we decide to switch over from doing this on the phone and we switch over and start doing computers and stuff like that. I believe Premiere is the direction that we are going to go with editing software. At Pond Predator Nation, dude, first off, welcome to the stream. How have you been, man? I apologize. It's been a minute since I talked to you. And second, thank you very much for the super chat, man. I really, really appreciate you, sir. See, we dropped John. Let me see. He's not back. He'll be back in just a moment. He went over and he kind of scared me for a second because he looked like he was just laying there, and then we lost the feed on. I was like, okay, it makes me feel better. He can come back to a back to a feed. I thought he might have thrown out his back or something.
No, he just messaged me or messaged us. He said he lost power. So,
oh wow,
he'll be back or he won't.
Wow, okay.
Yeah.
Man, that sucks. Although where I live out here in Beeville, we lose our power. Like in a bad, if we get wind, if we get 20-mile-an-hour winds, we lose power over here. We get brownouts probably 6-8 times a year. So I feel them.
Yeah.
You know, I've heard a lot of stuff on here, people talking about the GoPro 7s, the GoPro 9s. I hadn't, Wayne, anything you got as far as GoPro 8 information? I will be looking at going the GoPro route here in the near future. After I get employed again, we're going to upgrade and we're going to do things on the computer. We're going to get GoPros and stuff like that. So I am taking note of everything that everybody's saying. And I want any and all information that I can get on these things for, you know, when that time comes. What kind of camera do you use, Steve, when you're out there? I don't even know if I've ever asked you that. I'm curious. I assume everybody uses GoPros, but is that your phone?
Just about everything that I do is on my phone. Now, I also have a GoPro Hero 5 and also have that Canon 70D. I use all of them, but the majority.
Well, but you don't take that offshore.
What's that?
You don't take that offshore, do you?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, you're a man after my own heart. I love it.
I've got a mount in the boat where it's mounted really secure. It's not going to come off. I'm trying to think the last video that I did. I think I had some of it shot with the 70D, but just about everything I found my phone because it's on me. I can grab it real quick. And like if somebody's reeling in a fish or something like that, it's just really quick for me to get that rather than turn on the camera, you know, all the stuff that goes with that. So the phone does most of my recording, most of my video.
I mean, you're speaking, you're preaching to the choir on this one. And actually, Can Vandal was saying the same thing earlier, man. I apologize. I wanted to address that. And I'm glad, Steve, thank you for bringing that back up. Because I don't know if everybody knows. John, welcome back, man. Do you have audio?
Huh?
There it is. Okay.
Yeah.
For a second, it looked like you didn't have any audio. Very happy to have you back. We heard you lost power. Was that like, was it losing power as the result of foul weather, or was it losing power the result of I accidentally kicked the plug in the wall?
It was closer to number 2 than number 1. I've got a power system over here that I'm going to rework tomorrow because I just don't like. It's one of those like a multi-plug that plugs into your plug and you plug. So I'm just going to put a strip and redo the whole computer system on that because it's if I bump it wrong, and which I don't even think I touched it. I picked up the mic, which I shouldn't do, and then all of a sudden it just went. And so the modem, the Wi-Fi, the computer, TVs, everything just went like that. So bad news.
Now that's, you know what, you are not live streaming unless stuff like that happens. It's the way it goes, which is why I'm dropping this link in the chat right now. Not a link, but I use this every time that happens to somebody on a live stream. This is my first response.
Pond Predator Nation, just $1. It's awesome, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So when you left, we started talking about filming with a phone. How much of your filming do you do with a phone?
Okay, gentlemen, I will be honest. I do probably 5% of my filming on a phone. Some of the like cooking or boat repair stuff, local around the house stuff, I do on the phone. When I can control audio again. Audio is my issue with the phone. And with the Samsung S10 Note Plus, you can't just plug a microphone into them anymore, right? My old
one, really?
Yeah, I could plug a microphone and I'm good to go. I'm ready to rock and roll. No, this one you got to get this, what do you call it, a dong or whatever. So it plugs into the power port and then it has an adapter on the other end to plug the microphone into. And about a week or two ago, I was telling you that thing don't even work because I tried it. Well, I don't know.
It has to be a media dongle. I'm sorry. I probably should have. I didn't even think about it until you just said it, but it has to be a media dongle.
It was. Here's what the problem was. So when I plug a microphone into my phone, it has to have the 3 bars on the plug that's going into it, certain size. But on my cameras, it has 2 bars on it. It's a different.
Is that the 3.5 meter jack? Is that what you're talking about? Has the bars? So that's TRS and TRRS is what they call that. TRRS has the microphone feed.
Thank you. Well, I was plugging the wrong one into it, and I'm like, this dang thing don't work. That's a piece. And then, like a day later, I took the other one. I was like, oh, I used to use this one in my phone when it plugged directly into the phone. So I plugged it into that dong, put the microphone on it, and that sucker works now. So I know you solely, other than your 360, are on the phone. Steve, Haulin Ash, I would say, and you correct me if I'm wrong, 80 to 90% is your phone. You do have a GoPro. You don't use it as much in your video yet, I believe. But me, I've been, 95% GoPro. I also have my Canon DSLR. But that's one of those cameras, for me, I'm scared to take it places. I'm scared to put it on the boat where it can get wet. So again, cooking, working on the boat, those type videos, I usually have that Canon out there and set that up. Going out on the boat, that Canon has never come on the boat just because I spent that money on it. I'm afraid that sucker, like Infantry Outdoors did, the same camera, his went overboard, gone, $600-700, bye-bye. I had a brand new GoPro go overboard on me when I was on Choke Canyon Lake, and that was like $300 to $400 at the time. Bye-bye, gone. So I'm trying to avoid that incident again.
I almost lost one, and I made a joke about it. I do this in a lot of videos, so you might not remember this one in particular. That's totally fine. We did a video early last spring. I think it was January or February, where we went out. My dad caught a really nice sized drum, Port A jetty, and early in the video, I was mounting the camera on the canopy of the boat, and in doing so, I didn't have it mounted, and I jerked it wrong, whatever. The thing almost went overboard, and I fumbled it and caught it. Well, I was recording at the time when that happened. And I'm in the video, I kind of like it landed looking at my face, and I kind of jokingly go like, that was close. My response was kind of joking because I realized that everything was going to be just fine at that moment. But that was a for real moment where I almost lost everything overboard, and I will be leashing my camera from now on. I will have a leash on it.
Yeah, that's smart.
I say that, man, I hope I don't lose it overboard, and then I have to come back and say, oh yeah, I didn't have the leash.
I'm hoping someday somebody snags that one I dropped in Choke Canyon. And
I bet there are so many at the bottom of that lake. All lakes.
We're drift fishing, me and Joel, and I've got it. Don't ever trust that suction cup mount. I don't care how good you think it works for you. Don't trust it. I've had them film multiple times, but this one, I've got suction cup on the top of the motor. Motor's not running. We're drift fishing. The weather is bad. We're taking waves over the side while we're drift fishing. And I'm sitting there fishing. And at one point, I look back because I'm at the back of the boat. I look at the camera and I see the camera start going. And so whoever finds that camera and watches the video, they'll have me going, I reaching into the water, trying to catch that camera as it disappears into the deep and gone. And that water is not clear, and the weather was bad, and there's gators. So no, I was not going to jump in the water 40 foot deep and try to find that damn camera. It's gone.
You know, you're saying Choke Canyon. I keep hearing Canyon Lake because I have a very strong desire to get back to Canyon Lake. So when you're saying that, I'm imagining the clear and beautiful Canyon Lake. But yeah, no, Choke Canyon, I bet there are far less cameras at the bottom of that lake. Canyon Lake, I'm sure there's plenty down there. Hey, Steve was just saying a moment ago about how he takes out his big expensive camera. And I don't have a big expensive camera, but I'm super proud of my phone. And you know, I invested a little bit in the phone for the channel and the work that we do here. Steve, as somebody who takes out a very big expensive rig for the YouTube channel, have you ever dropped one overboard? And if not, what is the most expensive thing you ever did drop overboard? Everybody's got a story of that thing.
I've never dropped anything overboard.
Then you don't own a boat.
Huh?
Then you don't own a boat.
Yeah, no, I haven't. I've been lucky. I haven't dropped anything over the side of my boat at all, or anybody else's boat. I don't know. I do got to go back a little bit though, John. I do use my GoPro for any time that I'm reeling in a fish. I'm using my GoPro. When we were fishing, I didn't have it on that at all that day. I don't believe.
No, you did not.
And then my big camera is up in the bow. It's mounted up there, and it's usually for like introductions or the closing type of thing. Or if like one, I did an interview of a guy that actually I'm on his pro staff, was pushing his product and was using that camera to film him. But we were at the marina, at the dock, not moving. But cameras, you got to be careful because John has a way of stealing your camera for his videos too, and the tripods.
Lies and fabrications.
Yeah. No, I don't think I've ever lost anything over the side of the boat. I found a lot of things while scuba diving, but no, I've never.
You better knock on wood, sir. Your time's coming. I'm just saying, it happens. It might be a.
What's up, A&J? Colorado Fisher. Pleasure to have you, sir.
So another thing, talking about cameras, I worry about wind, rain. We're on water. Stuff gets wet. So again, another reason not to take the expensive Canon out. I watch plenty of people that have that camera and more expensive cameras, and they just set them down on the boat and do stuff. And I'm afraid to, right? I'm scared to lose that stuff and get it all wet. And even with my old GoPros, the ones that have to be in a case, right? If the forecast is bad, I'm like, okay, they're going to be in a case and we're going to suffer. The 5 doesn't need a case in bad weather, but the microphone still sucks. So you suck it up and drive on. So the one thing now that I know I can get audio on this, I got the whole thing that this mounts in and you can hold it. And I got cold shoes on it where I can put a microphone, I can put lights. I got all that. So you might see me use this more in videos, because it takes really good video. I'm not going to lie. I don't know what it is about it, but it takes really good video. So I'll probably expand. So now I'm going to have the 9, and I'm going to have that to add to my arsenal. But one thing I did find is sometimes you can have too many cameras. I'm out there.
Yep.
That last fishing trip when I had the 4 in that power pole, which I don't have. There's no battery in the camera. It's running off the boat, so it can run forever. It's got a 128 megabyte card in it, plenty of room. And then I have the 3.5, I think it is, on my head, right? So I got my first person view, and then I got the 5 on a little clip on that I can aim it and do whatever I want with it. And editing, now that 4 can run for long periods of time, man, you'll sit here and you'll have hours. I had a 3.5-hour fishing trip, but I probably had video from minute 1 to the last minute that I had to go through to edit, and there's big chunks of nothingness. So it does add that challenge once you start going multi-camera. I think I'll always use 2 cameras just because you don't catch something on one camera, you got a different angle from a different camera, you can catch it. So I always do that. But I don't know how often I'll go up and have 3 or 4 cameras going at once, plus the drone. So
one thing I'd like to say about multi-cameras, I learned this early on. I was filming with my phone and also my GoPro. I shot all my video, went to edit it, and it was like the one kept skipping. It wasn't going smoothly, and it was camera speed. The phone is one speed, the GoPro was another. I couldn't figure that out, so I'm frantically looking, trying to figure out why. And so I asked the question, and somebody said, you've got to have, them both set at the same camera speed, or else that's going to happen.
Yeah.
So that's learn.
It'll happen with your screen size too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we seen that last video I did was with the GoPro, and it wasn't the wide view. It was narrower, so it had the narrow black bands on each side. So I've got that fixed now.
Yeah. And those of you that are, I know everybody in here is an experienced YouTuber. Hey, Heavy Stringers, thanks for dropping in.
Hey, what's up, man?
But those of you that want to use your phone and you're new to it, do not video with your phone like this. Video with your phone like that or that, right?
Yep.
Because
that's rule number 1.
Like this, you have a big black spot on this side when you show the video, and a big black spot on this side. And that's one of the first things for viewers that don't know you, don't know you're awesome and how great your content is. They click on a video and they see that, and a lot of times it's like, oh, next video.
Hey, my reference on that, your eyeballs are side by side. They're not up and down. They're side by side. Your view range goes like that. You want your video to follow that same format.
Exactly. Man, there's a lot of other stuff I want to talk about tonight, but we're getting close here, guys.
We got about, I appreciate that. We have 8 more minutes, and we're going to be shutting this thing down. My wife and daughter are going to be coming home, and we're making, in celebration of Taco Tuesday tomorrow, we are going to have fish tacos tonight, so that way we can enjoy them 2 nights in a row. That is thinking ahead, gentlemen.
Brilliant.
So we got 8 minutes left on this stream. What do you guys got? This is the perfect time. John, in honor of how you have manhandled this stream in the last year, you got 8 minutes left. What have you guys got upcoming? Everybody in the chat, you guys up here on panel, Steve and John, what has everybody got coming up in the future? Videos that you have posting this week, things that you're going to go do maybe this weekend streaming. What do you got for us? What can we be excited about to get us through this week?
Let me address the chat real quick. Hooked Up and Backlash. Yes, your editing software, mine has a capability to match up your audio and video from different cameras. I still am old school, and I just do it myself. I sit there and play with it until I get it matched up. Michael says, do you recommend any certain external mics? Is it the basic external mic? So something that you can put a windsock on, right?
Yep.
And let me grab something real fast.
And he's off.
They make a couple, while he's out there doing that, they make a couple of really good mics. Like I do everything with the phone, and the majority of stuff that you do with the phone, you can also do with the GoPro. They make the Rode, RODE mics with a 3.5 millimeter jack that I use. There you go. That's exactly where John was going with that. John's got a better one than I do. I use the Micro, the Rode Micro Mini Super Small one. I believe you use a one size up, don't you?
No, your Micro is the best Rode you're going to get unless you go up to the Power Rode, which is very expensive. I use a Movo, which is like a mirror image of your Micro. I originally bought this one, right?
Right. I actually wanted to upgrade to that, but you had issues.
Don't do it. This one has so many problems with interference. If you're out and there's power lines, if there's a cell phone system around you, it's going to jack up your audio. And the problem is, while you're recording, you have no idea your audio is getting jacked up until you get home. You want to edit the video and you look at your clips and your audio stinks. Okay. So if you're going to do a Rode's good. Other than this one mic, get the micro Rode that Stanley has. That's a great microphone, non-powered, right? And then they have a powered Rode, which is a step up from this, right? Where you, of course, you're gonna have to have batteries and all that, and it's more expensive, but it's awesome. Mine is a Movo, which is just like Stanley's micro Rode. So that's my only advice on microphones. And any of the lapel ones that has a little the foam cover on it, the lava, I think, what are they called, Stanley?
Lavaliers, the lav mic.
Those work really well too. Okay.
Yeah, I agree.
For me, what's coming up? So I'm going to do a review or an unboxing, not a review because I won't have it long enough. I'm doing an unboxing of that GoPro 9 when it comes in tomorrow. I will power it up and do some of the things that Stanley asked me to do with it. And then I'm going to do a review on something that I've been using for a while. I thought everybody was familiar with these by now. Not everybody is. Okay, this bad boy here, if you have a boat, that then plugs in to where your lights plug in, right? Mm-hmm. This end has 2 power ports.
Whoa.
Plug in your phone and charge it. You can do all that, or you can mount your camera on it, get a power plug for your camera, and plug your camera in, and now you're running your take the battery out, because the camera will still overheat if it runs for too long with a battery in it. Doesn't need a battery in it because this is charging it or running it. Take the battery out, and you can run video as long as your battery on your boat will allow you to, and your SD card.
Nope. Awesome. You need to install an on-off switch in the middle of that power line, because that thing you got right there is a game changer. And if battery overheating issue, if that's a problem, you need a shut off. But that is freaking awesome. I've never seen that before.
The only battery overheating issue is if you leave the battery in your GoPro. For me, I take the battery out, plug that power port into it. It runs my GoPro with no battery, so there's no overheating problem.
That is awesome.
Yeah.
I didn't know you could do that. That is cool.
And you'll be surprised, I was, of how much video you can actually put on a 128 card. Holy crap. Too much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you're talking to a guy that uses a terabyte.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Now you see why I film my stuff like 3 or 4 weeks in advance when I can. Right now, the video, I'll be dropping a video tomorrow, and the video that I dropped tomorrow, I filmed a month ago. And that's because like my hard drive is now like my memory. I'm editing videos from a month ago. I'm editing videos from a month ago now. And I have to be able to hold all those because I'm on my phone. So I don't have I don't have solid memory on a computer or anything to hold on my files. Kind of maintain all these files on a phone and remember the story and edit that video. It's rough.
Yeah, I filled up my, I don't know how many gigabyte hard drive on the computer, and I've got an external from my old computer that's a terabyte or gigabyte, whatever it is, and I'm backing it up to that now. So, Steve, what you got planned for us in the next week or so, brother?
Thinking I'm going to take my youngest grandson. He's 4. He's never been fishing. I'm thinking about taking him over to a nearby pond that's got some bluegills and bass in it and just see what happens. That's probably going to be my next one, unless all of a sudden miraculously we go goose hunting and get something on film. But that's what I'm kind of leaning towards.
That'll be cool. That'll be cool. Stanley, what are you going out and doing the coming week?
I'm not sure. If you've seen the coast, it is an absolute disaster mess at the moment.
Yeah.
I have been working on some stuff. I got videos upcoming. I have a video coming out tomorrow. Actually, I've got 2 things. I have a video coming out tomorrow, and to be honest with you, I don't remember which video I have coming out tomorrow. So Danny Baker. Danny Baker said, hoping to get the 5th elite angler fish soon. Dude, congratulations on that. That is rad. How far along am I? I cannot say because I don't remember what video is coming out tomorrow. My apologies. I'm going to keep it on the down low until I get those catches, published. But I'm afraid I can't say it. Now, I have one exciting thing I am super, super stoked about. Steve and John, I know we're on press time here. We just hit the 1 hour mark. We're getting out the door, but I want to mention one thing while I got you in here. We discussed this just a little bit. I was kind of like brainstorming against everybody. I've decided that I am going to go ahead and do a morning live stream. I'm going to experiment with this, and I'm actually really excited about it. I'm going to be doing it with my brother. We're going to do an experimental run tomorrow morning. It's going to be at 8:15. 8:15 because life happens. We got kids to drop off at school, and I don't know if that's going to be an effective time for everybody. I don't expect anybody to have to show up, but we are going to experiment with an 8:15 Central Time live stream in the mornings starting tomorrow. Me and my brother. These are the live streams that we are going to use for our podcast that we do. If you haven't seen the podcast, it's Tackle Box Talk on all major podcast platform things. Yeah, you got to search for it. I'm not providing a link. Don't worry about it. If you're not interested, don't sweat it. It's not a big deal. But if you're interested, just type in Tackle Box Talk. We are ranking in search. You can find us that way. And we are going to be recording what we hope to be our podcasts in the mornings starting tomorrow. So that's what I got. Grant, Heavy Stringers, what do you guys got for us?
It's going to be awesome, Stanley.
Yeah, I guess Heavy Stringer says he's not gigging anytime soon. That really sucks because I'm actually trying to put together a flounder gigging trip with him in the very near future here, next couple of weeks. Grant says I go to break at 9, so I'll be in when I can. Totally understand. No, I'm not requiring anybody. I want genuine, does this time not work for people? Totally understand. I get that. I'm gonna just see what happens. We're probably gonna experiment with different time slots just to try. I want to try an experiment with the old time slot from the old days, about 2 years ago. You guys who were there know what I'm talking about. There was, at that time, a very ingenious co-host on a really popular live morning show, and I'm looking forward to maybe seeing if I can't get a little bit of airtime with that gentleman at some point in the future.
Grant!
Yep, Grant. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, on that note, I'm dragging everybody on. Gentlemen, I want to thank you very much for joining me on my very first panel live stream. This one is going to go in the books. I'm super stoked that we are finally able to have done this. Guys, thank you so much. I really, really appreciate it.
Thanks for having us, Stanley.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yep. You guys have a wonderful day. Everybody else, I hope you have a wonderful week. I hope to see you in the morning. If not, don't sweat it. We will be back with another live stream very, very soon. I promise you that. And I want to thank you very much for joining us today. It has been an absolute pleasure. I hope you guys have a wonderful time. Stay safe and have a good week.
Peace out.